Howdy out there in YouTube land, thanks for stopping by the channel. This is Doom 64, a Doom game that originally was released on the N64, and I'm playing this as a re-release on the Nintendo Switch. It was released for a few other modern consoles, but this is the one I got. I never played this on the Nintendo 64, but I have to say the Switch version looks really sharp on a television. I tried this one in both handheld mode and on a television using a controller, and although the handheld mode is definitely passable, I don't think it handles very well. On a television with the standard, more modern controller, it works much better. It works great. I know the original release used the N64 controller, but I can't say that I'm a fan of it. This one kinda feels better catered towards modern controls, and I think they really work. It's important to know this isn't just a port of the original Doom game, which they released on pretty much every system ever. It's a new entry in the series. We get a total of 28 main levels, and there are a few bonus levels as well. These levels follow the standard Doom format of the era, what you'd expect back then, and it looks like you'd hope. I think most of the enemies here are from the Doom 2 release, so there'll be a lot of familiar faces for people of that game. The levels are designed like you would expect. You're going to have to avoid traps, find switches to open doors, kill monsters walking around, and find tons of ammunition and weapons along the way. I think if you were to analyze the construction of the levels, they have little real-world logic to them. You do see this in modern games still. Here it feels kind of glaring. If you were to step back and analyze a level, it just doesn't make much logical sense. It's just a puzzle to solve, which is fine. It's just what it is. You're not in a house, like each room having a specific purpose. This is just a design. There's also ammunition and weapons scattered throughout the levels everywhere. Logically, I'm not sure why any ammunition would be here at all, and who would put it there. Past trying to apply real-world logic in level construction for a game like this, it has a few of the same limitations of the original game, which is a little unfortunate, but not a deal-breaker. First, you can't look up or down. You are always going to look straight ahead. The game will aim your weapon up or down for you when appropriate, so when you fire, you will see your shots go up to hit creatures on a different plane when applicable. You also don't reload your weapons in this one. I seem to recall some of the earlier Doom games you might have reloaded the shotgun, or at least the double-barrel shotgun if I recall correctly. But in this one, you don't reload your weapons at all. You just never stop to change a clip. Just keep shooting. Also, your enemies are not in 3 dimensions, and this is most evident when you kill one and you look at the corpse on the ground. If you stare at the corpse and you walk around it, you'll notice that the corpse actually turns to face you. It's just a 2-dimensional image that always looks the same. You also don't get that awesome Doom soundtrack in the background. There are plenty of sound effects, and they work, and I like them just fine, but not having the Doom soundtrack is a little bit of a bummer. But this is Doom, and honestly, these points are pretty minor. Because it's Doom. I mean, the mazes are puzzles. Yes, they're not realistic, but they're fun to figure out. You can kill all the enemies on a level, and you still have to take another 20 or 30 minutes looking around just to find the right door to get through. The levels are sufficiently complex. They might not feel as comprehensive to me as the earlier Doom games. They're good, but I don't know. I remember the original Doom games feeling really crazy in terms of level design. These are great, but it just doesn't feel quite like the original games. You get the standard Doom weapons, of course. Pistol, shotgun, minigun, rockets, a plasma launcher, and the BFG. You also get a chainsaw, but this one's a little different. It has 2 blades. You also get an additional weapon that falls after the BFG. It's a demon gun, and it's called the Unmaker. This gun shoots a red laser, and you can upgrade it if you find these demon keys throughout the levels. Actually, I found most of the weapons through the first 8 levels, and the Unmaker I actually found by accident. No upgrades, though, which was a little bit of a bummer for me. Made it harder at the end of the game. You get plenty of save slots in this one, and you can also save your game mid-stage, which is something you should probably do frequently. If you manage to get yourself through a difficult stage, and you don't lose that much life, great time to save. Save while you have the health and the ammunition, and keep building off of the same save file. If you don't and you die, you're going to have to find all your weapons and ammunition again. I can't recall any Doom game that isn't at least somewhat entertaining, and this one is no exception. I do know that there are some better games than others, but my overall experience with the franchise has always been solid. This game plays really well on the Switch, using a controller in particular, and strangely, this was the first time that I realized that the Switch controller has motion control. If you're playing and you just sort of turn the control a little bit or jerk, your character moves a little. I didn't know that was a thing with this controller. I found myself sitting down and playing this game through over an entire weekend. I just started playing and I kind of found myself locked into it. I didn't want to put it down. Yeah, maybe it's a little limited compared to the modern first-person shooters that we have out there now, but I don't know, unloading a shotgun into a bunch of enemy demons is really fun. Also, the rockets are super useful, but they do have splash damage, and if maybe you clip a wall that's close to you, or hit a creature that's up close, you can accidentally kill yourself with that splashback damage, so you have to be extra careful with them. I killed myself plenty of times doing this. Well, that's all I have today for Doom 64 for the Switch. You can get this one on other platforms as well if you're interested, but honestly, I think if you like the original Doom games, you're probably going to really like this one too. Thanks for stopping by the channel to take a look, and hope to catch you on another video.